Hey everybody, Orange Box here, along with my infamous Lenovo Y50. It's been a while since I've made a video, and I had some extra time tonight, so I figured that I would put some video footage together and put up another video on YouTube. So as most of you can probably tell by the title of the video, this is going to be another Minecraft FPS test. The reason for that is because on my previous Minecraft frames per second test videos, I got a lot of comments suggesting that I wasn't actually running the game with the high-performance NVIDIA graphics card. The good thing about Minecraft 1.8 and above, at least at this point when I made this video, in the debug screen on Minecraft, it actually shows you what graphics card you're using now to render the game. So we'll be able to double check to make sure that I'm using it the way it should be. Another couple of notes. Yes, I will be using screen recording software, so we'll try that first. I also purchased Fraps this evening, so we can try that too and compare the two. And then towards the end of the video, I will grab one of my cell phones and try to do my best handheld screen capture, if you will, to show what a vanilla installation of Minecraft runs, or how the performance is on the Lenovo Y50. Doing this, I'm hoping, will either prove or disprove a lot of the comments I saw on my other Minecraft frames per second videos, especially for some of the people that are claiming that they're getting anywhere between 200 and 300 frames per second. If you happen to be one of those people that get 200 to 300 frames per second on your Lenovo Y50, I would absolutely love to see a video of it, or some kind of detailed instructions on how you get it to perform that well. I would be more than willing to try it. But until then, I don't know. I guess I'm not 100% sure that I believe it. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So I'm going to go ahead and right-click on my Minecraft shortcut. And I'm going to run with graphics processor, the high-performance NVIDIA processor. So let's go ahead and click that. And then while this thing is loading up and doing its thing, going through the launcher, all this, as soon as I have a chance to open up the debug menu, I will. So let's go ahead and maximize this thing. We won't go full screen just yet until we use Fraps. First, let's get into the options, video settings. I do want to show you that my render distance is set at 16 chunks. The frame rate is set to unlimited. And my VSync is off. So with those three things set to pretty much like that, you're telling Minecraft, hey, let's do the max frames per second that this computer can possibly handle. So that shown, let's get out of this. We'll go into single player and we'll delete that creative world. Let's go ahead and create another one. Let this guy load up. And as soon as it pops in, I'll hit F3. Any day now, I guess. Okay, F3 hit. You'll see on the right-hand side of the screen that I am, in fact, running with the GeForce GTX 860. And on the left-hand side, at least initially, when you first start a brand new world, you're going to get several hundred chunk updates. As you can see right now, we're running anywhere between 100 to 250 chunk updates, and I'm only getting 28 frames per second, 32, 36. Now notice I'm not moving at all. So eventually those chunk updates are going to stop happening because it's going to load the entire world around us. And as those chunk updates go down in number, our frames per seconds will go up. So right now I'm sitting above 40, almost 50, maybe mid 50s frames per second. But you know what? Let's go ahead and start moving. And we're going to simulate what it's like if you were using like an SMP or just playing a single player game, what have you, and you're moving through the world and chunk updates are happening. So let's do that. Let's go, well, somewhere up here. I'm going to start moving. And as you can see off into the distance, I'm basically, by moving pretty quickly through here in creative, I'm forcing more chunks to load. And as you can see, I'm basically keeping the game above 200 chunk updates per, as I move. And you'll notice that with screen recording software that I really don't get this above 40, maybe mid 40s frames per second. So that's that. Now, for the people that claim to get 200 to 300 frames per second, the only way that I can see that happening, at least on the Y50, is you either aren't rendering at 16 chunks. Maybe you have a lower chunk setting like 8 chunk distance or things like that. But the only other way I can see that maybe happens is if we plop our butt down. I don't know, right here looks good. And again, just kind of like when we were at spawn, if we just sit here and let those chunk updates go down to 0 or perhaps below 10, you can see that those frames per second will come back up. So I hit 60 there at one point. But anyway, this is with my current screen recording software, and I'm going to go ahead and hop out of this, and I'll start up Fraps, and we'll see if there's any kind of performance improvement by using Fraps. So let's go ahead and do that. I will be right back. Okay, so I have Fraps now set to record, and let's get in there, and just like last time, we're going to delete this creative world. We'll go ahead and create a new one so that we can see what the frames per second, what they are as the world loads, as we sit there, as we move, all that stuff. So let's go ahead and create this. And just like with the last time, as soon as I can get in and hit F3, we're going to hit F3. Okay, so here we are with Fraps running, and on the right hand side you can see that I got the GTX 860 running. On the left hand side you can see that I'm getting 37, 35, 40, but we're still 150, 200 some chunk updates. So I am going to go ahead and plop my butt down, and we'll see. We'll let this sit here for a minute, and we're down to 0 chunk updates. There's 2, 0, 1. So even though this seems to feel better than the other one that I was using, we're still right around the 47, 46 frames per second area while using Fraps. Now, according to everything I've ever researched, the human eye can't really tell that there's any kind of issue below 30 frames per second. So if you're using screen recording software such as Fraps or similar, and you're above 30 frames per second, you're still doing pretty good, unless somebody just has a faster than light eyeball. So, I feel like if you're going to record for YouTube or something like that, this is okay. The Y50 can handle it. But with screen recording software, I don't know that you're going to get above 60 frames per second. You might get close, but so maybe let's move this way, and just before we quit using Fraps here, we'll, force some chunk updates. See, now we're up to 260 some chunk updates, so on and so forth. You can see off in the distance by my cursor that stuff is trying to load, and we're sitting right at just above 30 frames per second. The good news is I really haven't seen it dip below 30, unless I've just missed it. So that's doing pretty good, in my opinion. Anyway, so with Fraps being shown, and I showed my other screen recording software, now I want to use my cell phone and take a video, obviously using no screen recording software, and we're going to see just what the Y50 can do at 16 chunks, unlimited frames, and VSync turned off. And we'll see if we can get to the 200 or 300 frames per second that some of the people in the comments on my other Minecraft videos have suggested. So let me get this turned off, and I will probably need to set my computer up somewhere else so I can put a cell phone down so that it's not, you know, shaky crazy by me holding it in my hand. And I'll be right back once I get that set up, and we'll take a look at it. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my cell phone set up, kind of propped up in front of the Y50 here. And I wanted to just go ahead and run through this quickly one more time. We are not running anything but Minecraft. So let's go ahead and try this. We'll run with graphics processor, high performance NVIDIA processor. Let's get this guy to load up once. We'll hit play. And just like in the previous two, as soon as I can hit F3, I'm going to do it. But also we'll delete this creative. Let's go ahead and create another one. Okay. Let this go up. Again, no recording software this time, and hopefully you guys will be able to see it with the quality of my cell phone camcorder video deal. Okay, so we are just sitting still, no video recording software. 1920 by 1080. You can see over here on the right that I am using the GeForce GTX 860, and over here on the left we're not moving at all, and we're running about 70, 80 so frames. But again, we're not moving, and we're getting below the 10 chunk updates, and you know we're sitting at 16 chunk rendering distance too. So let me open that up. Again, 16 chunks, unlimited frame rate, and VSync is off. So if we come back in here, you can see that, you know, we're probably getting close to 100 frames per second occasionally. Now, for the people that are getting 200 to 300 frames per second, I don't know. I don't know how you can move in this game and get that much. So anyway, I am going to go ahead and move so that we can force some chunk loads, because as you can see, we're getting down, you know, 60, 16, 39, 43, and we're roughly, you know, I don't know, 70 frames per second, let's say. But let's move. Looks like we got a lava fire over here. Okay, so I'm just moving straight, and as you can see kind of over here by my cursor, ocean's a good way to look at it. Down here by my cursor and out in the distance, you can see that we're forcing chunk loads. And as I'm moving through the world, you can see that I have 200-300 some chunk updates. But my frames per second is low 50s. And that's no screen recording software. So as you may recall from the first couple of videos that we had, or the first couple of segments that we had, using screen recording software, we were running maybe mid-30s. So without screen recording software, at 16 chunks, unlimited frame rates, VSync off, we're getting 40 frames per second. So in closing, again, for the people that are able to get 200 to 300 frames per second, please, for the love of God, tell me what you do to get that high. I would love to be able to do that. You know, Optifine may come into play. I'm not sure. I've tried Optifine before, and there is a little improvement, but I don't see that much improvement. Anyway, this was a vanilla installation of Minecraft 1.8.1. So I guess that's all I have for you. Anyway, hopefully this debunked a little bit of some of the comments we got. You know, maybe we did a little bit of myth bustering here, if you will. But I would say even at full tilt 16 chunk rendering distance, you're looking at roughly 50 frames per second on the Y50. Unless somebody can prove to me different, that's what I'm going to go with. And let me get over here to the green so we can read the debug a little bit better. And again, I just want people to be able to see the debug here on the green so that you can read the white text. 1920 by 1080, GeForce GTX. Again, without moving, no chunk updates, we're well over 100 frames per second. So I do agree with that we can get 100 frames per second and above on the Y50, but you're not moving. You move in the world, and that just immediately goes away because you're forcing chunk updates. Anyway, I've rambled long enough. I will get out of here, and I hope everybody enjoyed the video. It probably went longer than anybody ever wanted it to, but I wanted to make sure we covered all of our bases. Please leave comments. Let me know what you do to get better performance, if anything. And I will certainly try to figure out how to make it better. And if one of the ways or comments or suggestions pans out, I will certainly make another video. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, please like, leave a comment, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, everybody. Okay, so before I ended the video, I actually wanted to show you one more thing. I was doing a little bit more research on frame rates in Minecraft and whatnot, and a friend of mine and I were talking, and we discovered that, you know, when you run a single player game and it's running on your laptop only, you know, your laptop or your Y50 or your PC in general will work more over time when you play a single player game as opposed to a multiplayer game. I don't know all the technical reasons for this, but when you play multiplayer, you actually end up getting a better frame rate. So since this is hopefully a all bases covered Minecraft frames per second video, I wanted to do this too. So I'm actually going to join a friend of mine. He has a server, and I'm going to join it just to show you the different frame rates that I get when I'm on his server. So it actually gets a little bit closer to this 200 to 300 frames per second thing that people are talking about in the comments on some of my other videos. So let's get in here, and initially I'm not going to move. And I got F3 up, and over on the right hand side you can see that I'm 1920 by 10. Well, you know what, that's because I'm not full screen. So let me switch over to that real quick. And we can see the full screen 1920 by 1080 over here. And let me adjust my camera just a little bit. I have a cell phone here, and this is with absolutely no screen recording software. I'm using my cell phone. So let me get in here and go to video settings. I'm going to turn the render distance to 16 chunks. I'm going to unlimit the frame rate, and I'm going to turn VSync off just like I did in the prior parts of this video. So you can see that just standing still, you know, I'm generally well over 120 some frames per second on the Y50. Now again, just like everything else, you know, if I start moving around and we start generating chunk updates, this makes a huge difference. So you can see I'm back below 100 frames per second again. So I don't know. I mean, it's not perfect, but when you play multiplayer, it must share, or when you play on a server rather, it must share the load a little bit. So if we just, you know, go stand still, you know, we'll get that 100 some frames. Again, I'm not anywhere near the 200 to 300 range, but it is getting a little bit better. So anyway, I wanted to just throw this small little portion at the end of the video here to show you that I guess when you're on multiplayer, you know, your frame rates will go up substantially. So that's it, and I'm really gone this time. So I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.